This is Jay from the Tier 1 tournaments. You might know me as the host and one of the commentators there. Today I'll make a deck tech for you from my Grixis Chunky Thieves deck, helped by these big chunky boys. So let's dive into it. So, what makes this deck a Thief deck? It's obviously all the wheel effects, the wheel payoffs, but how does this differ from the normal Tumna Crown Opus Thief deck? So obviously first we are in Grixis only. We have Crown and Devasat, two of the most powerful partner commanders in my opinion, and in the best colors. I do believe a lot of people are coming around to the power of Devasat, but still a lot of people are underestimating him, and I think most people will only realize how incredibly powerful he is when they play against or with him themselves. The same went for me. I had to see somebody play it before I realized how incredibly powerful the card was. So the whole idea behind this deck was initially just to get one of these guys down as early as possible. And obviously, as you can see here, I put down a lot of the fast mana in our format. Two of the big ones are Jewel Lotus and Dockside Extortionist. Jewel Lotus is just supercharging this deck, and due to the incredible value that Crown and cEDH will provide for you, you can aggressively mulligan down after a Lotus or one of the other big mana payoffs here. These two are obviously some of the best ones, and as I'll show you later, Dockside is even part of one of the win conditions in the deck. So obviously we have all the heavy hitters here: Soul Ring, Mana Vault, Mana Crypt, LED, Grim Monolith, Chromox, Mox Diamond, Lotus Petal. You know them all. Obviously the spell based ones: Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Jeska's Will, Culling the Weak, although not as strong in this deck as in regular Turbonos decks because we don't play that many creatures, but it's a great way to follow up with something big after you get Devasat into play. And then I put Mana Drain here. I mostly use Mana Drain as a ritual in this deck. I want to counter something in the early turns that can allow me to get a big payoff when the turn come around back to me. So, as I mentioned, this is a Thief deck. So we have the namesake, the Notion Thief, obviously, Hull Breacher. I play Waste Not. I'll get a bit more into that later. I have Demonic Betrayal, and the spicy one here is Tergrid, God of Fright. So Tergrid is an incredibly powerful card, but she hasn't really caught on in cEDH yet. A lot of people dismiss her, and I did too as well. Again, I sat down, I played against her, and her abilities are incredible. So, and she has the same CMC as our two commanders, so if you have her in your opening hand and you can get her down early, she not only rams you by you will get all the sacrificed fetch lands or the Lotus Petals or you name it from your opponents early. And if you have her down and then follow up with a wheel, it is basically a win because you will get all the permanents your opponents discard directly into play. She is also part of the win condition, so I will put her over here. When I'll return to her when I get back into the win conditions of this deck. So obviously most of the time if you wheel with one of these three or Tergrid in play, it will lead to a win. However, Waste Not is also there to give you the access to black mana that can cast Devasat or Tergrid or Notion Thief. It can also help you cast Crown, but it's a bit more difficult with only the black mana from there. Mnemonic Betrayal is an amazing payoff after a lot of wheels. Then you get access to everything your opponents discarded, and will also most often lead to a win. So Of other notable chunky cards, we have Ad Nauseam and Sire of Insanity, and I do want to pull Turgid back here. These are also cards that if you land them early, and as I showed before, this deck is packed filled with fast mana, they will completely dominate the game. Given the value provided by your generals and the fast clock provided by, let's say, Sire of Insanity plus Crown or Crown plus Turgid, you don't really mind the discarding of everybody's hand with Sire of Insanity here. Also, if you ever enter Magical Christmas Land and get these two, Sire and Turgid, into play at the same time, you will win immediately because there's a very nice synergy between here. So obviously this is not the strongest Ad Nauseam deck, because as you can see I have quite a few 5 CMC and 6 CM3 cards in this deck, so it's more there as a value Ad Naus more than the turbo Ad Naus go off and win immediately afterwards. In terms of the thief part, you want the wheels, so obviously we have Time Twister, Wheel of Fortune, Windfall, and then right now I am trying out Wheel of Misfortune. It's obviously not as good as your opponents can all agree on choosing 0 and then not wheeling, but then you get the effect of a wheel for 3 mana as the only player. I haven't played a lot of games with it yet, but it is promising, but I'm not completely sold on it yet. It could as easily be Dark Deal or something like Praetor's Grasp as another way to win or get fast mana. In terms of finding all the pieces you need, you obviously have the incredible black tutors in Demonic Tutor, Imperial Seal, Vampiric Tutor, and Wishclaw Talisman. You have Lim-Dul's Vault, which gets around a position agent, which can be nice here, and you have Mystical Tutor to go dig up either a wheel or some of the spell based fast mana in the deck. In terms of win conditions, obviously being in blue-black, we have the classic Demonic Consultation Oracle package here. I mean, why wouldn't you? Then we have again the Breach lines, because Breach is an incredible card on its own. We already want the LED for powering out our chunky boys early. Then adding Brain Freeze is also basically free here. And for the last spicy win con, we have Baron and Turgid, or sorry, Baron and Dockside to the much known infinite loop here. So you generate infinite mana by returning Dockside to your hand and recasting it with, and returning a Baron, recasting Dockside. It requires a lot of artifacts or enchantments on your opponent's part, but it is a nice backup win condition, and Baron can act as a way to move a pesky Archon of Emeria or cards like that. So how you go about it is you create infinite mana, then you cast Tevisat and plus him, you sacrifice him to return a Dockside or one of the Thralls, and then you cast him, and then you sacrifice the other Troll to draw 2 cards, and you do that an infinite amount of times. That will allow you to draw your entire deck, and you can then cast Thassa's Oracle. You can also cast Brain Freeze, and in dire situations we can also cast the flip side of Turgid and use the infinite mana to infinitely tap and untap her Lantern. In terms of interaction, we have all the usual spells. So we have Mana Drain, Ground Lock, Swan Song, Chain of Vapor, Lightning Bolt, Fierce Guardianship, Mystic Reflection. I'm currently testing this one out. I think it's a great card. I haven't cast it or seen it enough to really have a judgment yet, but I do enjoy having some interaction to creatures, as Dockside and Tymna and Oracle are everywhere in this format. And with cEDH you can turn a Thrall into something nice. Deflecting Swat, Force of Will, Cyclonic Rift, Pact of Negation, Flusterstorm, Spell Pierce, and the 2 Red Blasts. That was my Chunky Thief deck. I hope it piqued some interest. It's been a blast to play, and it is incredibly powerful, and it is a nice change of pace for all the regular Turbonos decks in Grixis colors, in my opinion. So you can find the deck list in the description below, and we hope to see you to more of our tournaments. See you there.